Real Nerds is a proud partner of the Denver Podcast Network. In the shadow of the mountains,
we speak. Coming to you from the X-Axis, it's John of All Trades with your host, John X.
Welcome to this John of All Trades podcast promo. Each Wednesday, I bring you a brand new interview with someone fascinating and ask the question we all ask when we meet someone new. Hey, what do you do? It's fun, informative, and it's the 2017 Westward Reader's Choice Award winner for Best Denver Podcast. iTunes, Stitcher, and johnofalltrades.us.
Oh, hi, podcast listeners. There's many ways you can listen to the Real Nerds podcast. You can subscribe on iTunes. You can also subscribe on Stitcher Radio. You want to send us a Twitter message? You can do that. It's so easy, at Real Nerds. Like us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com, where there'll be a lot of articles for you to not only read, but to listen to our previous shows. You can also call us, 720-6nerds5. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
Hey, this is Adventure Lounge. My name's Jagger.
And I'm Zach.
And we're on Real Nerds. Come check out the awesome crossover episode.
Welcome to another Real Nerds podcast interview from Denver Pop Culture Con 2019. Hope you enjoy.
I am Ryan. Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast live at Denver Pop Culture Con floor 2019. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but kind of. It's 2019 and we're at Denver Pop Culture Con. We are with Matthew. Matthew, welcome. Thank you for being on the show.
Well, thank you very much.
So how's your con going?
Well, I just I finished presenting at the Page 23 Lit Con.
Okay.
So that was fun. Presented on emotional vulnerability and in horror movies and how that translates then to the classroom. How we can kind of dismantle our privilege in order to and find out what students are interested in and then use that for their learning. So.
What movies do you use as an example for that?
So we used Annihilation and Mandy and Hereditary. And Hereditary, I think, was my favorite example of that. Mainly because they in Hereditary is this awful movie, you know, very 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 psychological thriller, some horrific scenes in there, and I used it as a way to for the cult that is involved in that movie. The demon that kind of charges the cult with, like, you know, making sacrifices and things. The demon offers them riches, and in demonology lore, that demon offers arts and sciences of all things, and so by doing these rituals, right, i.e., killing things and people, namely, he offers arts and sciences, riches. But that isn't what they get. All they get is more ritual at the end. And if we take that and apply that to the classroom, a lot of really well-meaning educators, we try and do what's best for our students, and in doing so, we write, you know, standardized curriculum, and we meet the needs of the subject matter rather than the students. And in doing so, at one point in the movie, someone cuts off their own head, and so the arts and sciences in that standardization is gone, and we are left with ritual. The ritual of everything from pledging allegiance to the flag to step one, tell the students to do X. Step two, tell the students to do Y. And so in our best intentions, we end up self-destructing in the class.
How did you get involved in teaching and lecturing about this?
Well, actually, I'm an English faculty member at Pueblo Community College in Pueblo, Colorado, and the chair of our department, Dustin Dunaway, when I began at that department about 5 years ago, he was really encouraging me to kind of pursue my interests were and that kind of thing. And at the time, I knew a lot about Harry Potter and I knew a lot about Lego. And so I integrated both of those into my classroom in a pretty extensive way. With Lego, I I use that for source integration quite a bit. So students make a model, and then they pass that model off to another group, and then that other group with different Legos. Say the first model was a castle, and the second group has a bunch of car Legos, right? And so with the car Legos, they have to recreate the castle, and by doing that, they are doing the same thing that we do in academia. They're pulling paraphrases and summaries, and they have to credit their original source. And so it's teaching about plagiarism without teaching the boring parts of teaching about plagiarism. So.
And have you seen that it helps your students a lot with these kind of examples, movies, Lego, or whatever you use for the example?
Unquestionably, yeah. I mean, we live in a world where competencies and standards are really important for states and for, whomever. But for the competency piece, it works for students who don't have a traditional background. Say sometimes I'll do this for students who will say, I hate English class. I'm here because I need to pass the class. I'm like, this is the class for you then. This is exactly the class for you. But even more than that, it's about the making of meaning, the co-creation of meaning in that classroom. And all of this, 100,000 people, right? We're here not because it's an assignment, but because it's meaningful to us. And this is the people who could get to Denver, who could be a part of it. There are millions of people across the state who engage with popular culture and elements of pop culture every single day, and in my own classroom. So if I'm not doing those things, I'm not doing the best I can as an educator to make the learning experience meaningful. So.
And do you find that places like Pop Culture Con are more welcoming to different aspects of life, I guess? Because I mean, you can just look out here and there's anime,
yes,
and whatever, and people don't feel like they're being judged for what they love.
Yes, that is absolutely true. Also, in terms of gender expression too, there's I've never experienced anyway a sense of any sort of judgment for liking a particular fandom over another one, or for things like gender bending. So I'm currently wearing like a bent Jughead outfit. I've got a skirt on, and then the Southside Serpent, and nobody comes up to me and is like, "Oh, you're wearing a skirt. What are you doing?" But it's never even questioned. So for people who want to just like what they like and be who they are, this is the perfect place for them. Do
you encourage people then to come here and be who they want to be?
Oh, absolutely, and in my own classroom too. I mean, yeah, this is absolutely the right. And I think one of the differences, actually, truthfully, with the Denver Pop Culture Con is that it is inherently run by an educational organization. Denver Pop Culture Classroom, right? Not that I'm plugging them, I don't have anything to do with them or whatever, but I appreciate the work that they do. I appreciate that the focus is on not just on pop culture, but on how pop culture works then in the classroom. You know that teachers get, if they attend certain sessions and they get, and they fill out certain paperwork or whatever, they can get graduate credits for many of the sessions that they go to. And that's huge. I'm sure there's other places that do that, but to my knowledge, this is the only place that really makes it like one of the primary focuses of.
Do you have any parting words of wisdom? Anything to help people? Do you have a way to contact you? Maybe if you're available for talks or whatever you want. I don't know if lecture is the right word or however you want to help them.
I would be happy to talk, to lecture, to do whatever. First of all, parting words is be who you are, and experiment with costuming and become friends with people who don't look like you. And what a great example of diversity, right?
Yeah.
We can get to know people who don't look like that because they're wearing costumes. So yes, if people want to contact me, I'm at a couple different places. Matthew, MATTHEW, Sterner, STERNER -Neely, NEELY, at Pueblo CC. That's pueblocc.edu. I'm also, you can also find me at The Lego Prof, TheLegoProf on Twitter. Matthew S. Neely, MatthewSneely, on Facebook, or at duelingsymmetry.com.
Well, thank you so much for telling us. That's awesome.
Thank
you for doing the good work. I
really
appreciate
appreciate your podcast.
Oh, thank you.
I really do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been another Real Nerds Podcast interview from Denver Pop Culture Con 2019. See you next year.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Draft House in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.